Hello, welcome. It's been a while. Now back into the action here with my 25 NL and 50 NL. At the moment, two tables of 50 NL that are running, the two up here. Okay, here we have pocket fours. I am going to go for a 3-bet with this hand into 2.5x raise. Could call, but he might well have to silly over something like Jack 7 offsuit, and then if I call there, I just give him too much over free card, so I prefer to just 3-bet it and get him to fold. But yeah, welcome. Hope you have been doing well. I have been very busy. Ooh, and now we got a 25 NL table. Excellent. Yeah, so hope you've been well. I have been very busy. Had a lot of things to do, mainly for my other channel, the Live Poker Guide. But also I played a bit live. Not that it went very well for me. I had 2 sessions, and especially one of them was absolutely horrible. Although in both sessions I could have lost a lot more. Things like boat over boat, jacks versus aces, pocket queens getting cracked by a set of tens. I kind of lost the minimum in most of those hands. Especially the boat over boat one was crazy. I flopped a set of sevens on queen 8-7, and the queen came on the turn, and guess what the guy had? Queen 8. And I did well not to raise the river. I was almost kind of bluff catching, although I would never really fold there, even against a passive player, because he could be overvaluing something. But it wasn't great to call there. And he did have queen 8 for the top boat. Right. Yeah, so far this has been pretty quiet. It took me a while to get the games going. Now we have 3 tables running, and hopefully soon 2 or 3 more. But yeah, so far we are just trying to have some fun, win some money. And just to say it again, I know the thumbnail promises tournaments. I'm not planning to clickbait you, but the issue is that I cannot change that for some reason. And that is, of course, not great, but I hope you understand. So here, 3-betting king queen offsuit, button versus a cutoff open, pretty standard. Queen 10 off in the small blind is a fold once the button opens. Jack 3 off is a fold in any position. Jack 9 suited, we're a bit too early. Low jack to open this one. Cutoff, I would have opened it. Probably not even high jack and definitely not low jack. Ace jack suited though. This is a nice open. I'm gonna change these tables so that I can always have them all visible, the ones that are relevant. Okay, we're getting 3-bet by the button. That's an interesting one. Ace-jack suited. I don't want to call with this one. I could either consider folding or 4-betting. So I am going to 4-bet this one. We're getting snap called there, which is really not great. Here we're going to go for the 3-bet. I'm going to start out with a check. I mean, that snap call means that he probably has a decent hand. and that might be jacks, queens, something like that. Speaking of jacks, queens, look at this flop here. I am going to start with a small c-bet, and he now bets half pot basically on this board, so definitely going to fold. Okay, now the problem is we are counterfeit. That is just really annoying. But we are going to continue barreling because we're not going to win this one. Otherwise, question is, what can he have? Here we're just overcalling sixes. Okay, I am going to go for, well, I can never get a queen to fold, obviously. Can I get a jack to fold or an ace? I am trying to get an ace to fold with this 2/3 bet pot. We're getting jammed on. Yeah, that is very unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. It's not a great start into the session. And here, I mean, he bets really tiny, but I still think I'm gonna fold. I'm out of position. I'm just bluff catching here. And he did bet quite small, so I am going to let that one go. Yeah, on the hand with the queen, jack, jack, queen, I was hoping to get an ace to fold that would have called the small bet on the flop, the slightly bigger bet on the turn, but might have folded the river. But when we get jammed on, that can't be anything else than a queen there, or better. So, very sadly, not a great start. Okay, so here, top left table, this guy, Pipinya, being quite active. But there's not much I can do with the type of hands I've been being dealt. Ooh, ace, king versus queens all in. On table 2. Ace, king wins it. Okay, we're getting the same hand, 10-7 off, and 2 tables. 3 deuce suited will have to be a fold, even against a button open. Well, we had 2-3 of hearts, now we have 3-4 of hearts. And we got another 25 NL table. Yeah, so playing tight is right. Okay, we got pocket tens in the big blind. So against an early position raise, I would consider flatting. Against a late position raise, I will probably 3-bet my tens. Jack 7 off is a fold. What is this? Okay, so Pipinia raised on the button. That's definitely one where I'm going to go for a 3-bet. If we get 4-bet, I would consider jamming this hand because it is quite an active player. I did call. Okay, on this board, I prefer to start with a check. We definitely have showdown value. He goes for a 3rd pot. No reason to check raise this one. Definitely just calling. Now we have an open ender to go with our 2nd pair. He still doesn't size up at all, so I am going to call once again. And here we go, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen. So I think, ooh, what do we have here? I have to fold. Here I can come out. I think I want to go. Do I want to jam? No, I don't want to jam because I don't think I'm gonna get called even by a set. But for this size, I am getting called, so that is nice. And we made some money here. Okay, ace-2 suited against an early position raise is a fold, even though you could probably go for a 3-bet, but not too keen on that. Right, so here we'll have a 5th table running, 25 NL. Okay, Queen deuce suited against an early position raise is definitely a fold. Jack 10 off because pocket 8's in the big blind. Definitely folding 10-8 off. Ooh, we won with 6 deuce, got a walk, excellent. Here ace 9 off is a fold, queen, jack, off is also a fold. Pinya the cold 4-bet. And here I'm just gonna fold. Button, and it's a small blind note. He still has quite a few folds to my 4-bet. If he does it with a hand like ace jack off or so, he would probably still fold. And it's good for the red line as well. Pocket 3's early position, just a fold. Ace 10 suited though. So if the under the gun player had raised here, I would probably have folded ace 10 suited. You can 3-bet it, definitely shouldn't call, but against an early position raise in a 7-handed game, ace 10 suited is very marginal. So I prefer a fold, because if you 3-bet there might be someone behind you waking up with queens, kings, or jacks, aces, ace king, ace queen, and then they might 4-bet, and then you're not in a great spot. Okay, ace jack off, definitely raising this one. No action. No action, no satisfaction. Okay, here we are up against the big blind, just checking back. Now we do have some showdown value here, so I'm just gonna check it down. He bets this river, and the problem is, yeah, he block bet this river. And I'm basically never really good here, but with these pot odds, if he has any sort of bluffs or a weaker ace or so, I am just gonna call. Yeah, he rivered it. Yeah, let him get there, but I was miles ahead, so that's okay to pay the 1.6 big blinds there on the river. I briefly considered raising, but I think my line just wasn't super credible there. Queen 9 suited. Can definitely raise this one in the cutoff, even though our aggro friend Pipinya is in the big blind. Hello. So I hope you can hear me now. I'm not entirely sure. 10-3 suited is a fold. Getting beeps everywhere. Oh, didn't I say I wanted to sit out the next big blind on this table? But anyway. Okay, King Jack is a fold in the small blind. Got pocket sevens now. In the big blind. And we can call the two big blinds. Pocket sixes, let's raise them up. This is not the best flop for me. King 8, I'm going to 3-bet this. Here I'm just gonna call once. Okay, ace queen against Pepina. I'm just gonna call this hand on the button, because I think he might 4-bet me and I don't really want that. Okay, here we are starting with a smallish one. Okay, here on the right we are definitely going to 3-bet this. Gonna fold here. Here I'm just gonna call my top pair, top kicker. Okay, size is up. Fine, I'm still gonna continue. Here with King 8, I against this. Let me see, I'm gonna go bigger. Here I'm just gonna call, here I'm gonna fold, here I'm gonna raise, here I'm gonna fold. Okay, so now he might have some showdown value there, so I'm definitely going for value. Here I'm just checking my ace king. And we got Pepina to call. That's excellent. Right here, now I am gonna go. Shall I turn it into a bluff? Yeah, I'm gonna start. Ooh, pocket kings, he folded anyway. Pocket kings would be nice to get some action for a change. Okay, here we can start with a check. Problem is this guy is short stacked, so I don't even want to check raise. Okay, well this is great. So we got a 3-bet and a call. It's okay, here I'm gonna go with the overbet now. So definitely raising. Question is, should I shove this one? Should I just shove? I think I can just shove, because if I shove, the second player here, the cold caller, might have tens, jacks, maybe even queens. And the other one can also have any of that. And wow, he called with ace 10 suited. Wow, I did not expect him to be that weak when he called. Wow, that's incredible. And we win both of them. Yes. Excellent. Well, that was a proper gift there. Thank you very much, Boston Swag. That was excellent. And now I'm out. Okay, it was a 25 NL hand, but still, yeah, very, very cool. Actually, well, I'll see. I might want to. Oh, I got kings again. Okay, king jack off will be a fold here. Okay, Pepina raises us. And I think I'm just gonna jam. Like, I don't. Like, with aces, I would call this 4-bet. But now I just want to jam. And he folds. So we got him a couple of times now. which is excellent. Okay, I am actually gonna come back into this game because Boston Swag has just rebought, so that's just too good not to play there. Right, Queen Jack suited is a 3-bet in the small blind. Ace 5 suited is a 3-bet here. Made it a tiny bit too small. Got a cold caller. And another caller, and this is as bad a flop as it could get. Not even a backdoor flush draw. I mean, I guess you could call it. No, it's not even a back. There's no backdoor whatsoever in this one. So absolutely have to check. Well, I don't really see a way how I could win this hand. Even though they checked twice, but against 2 players without any real backdoor equity, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to give up. This guy cold called a 3-bet. So absolutely folding there. Okay, opening this. And then called jam with ace 10 suited. And he gets the non-crusher tag. Right, so this is actually a rather small raise, but the problem is I have this other player behind me and he's a bit short stacked. I'm just gonna fold. Oh, now I misclicked here. I mean, I did want the raise, but I didn't see that there was a raise already. I thought that was just open raising. Instead, I min-clicked it accidentally. That is not what I was intending, obviously. Some of these players will probably think I'm a fish now. Here, 3-betting Queen Jack suited. Okay, so he called, that's great. So we are going to start with a small c-bet. Here we're getting 4-bet. With this hand I am going to call blind versus blind. So I can check here. Okay, let me see, I'm running out of time. Here I can call, fold. Do I want to raise this one? No. I'm gonna fold, and here, well, we under-repped our hand. We definitely are going to call. And he has ace queen. Wow, he made it there in the river. Okay, so what do we do here? Are we going to... I'm just gonna call again. Yeah, this was a bit unlucky there. Okay, definitely calling. And yet pocket kings, interesting, nice one. Okay, let's fold here. Let's take a stab here with top pair. Well, you win some, you lose some. I lost the one with ace king against ace queen there. But then... Okay, do I want to go for... I can go for another bet and then check back the river if he calls and then checks. but he just folded. That's fine too. Hey, so a lot of players sitting out. We have pocket eights, raising them on the button. And Pipinia folds this time. So if you have any questions about my game, about me, about coin poker, about anything, feel free to drop them in the chat, in the comments. I am very happy to talk about anything. King 4 suited, definitely fold. Pocket tens. Okay, Pipinia 3-betting us once again. I don't really want to 4-bet here. I'm just gonna call this. He raises. We have an overpair, definitely calling. The jack, not great, but you can't always have the best flop. Okay, he checks, and now do I want to induce? I am gonna block bet this one. I'm gonna go really tiny so that he just calls with an ace. Or I might induce. But that's the thing, like when you're out of position you can go so small because he gets the option to bet big anyway, so it's not like because I bet big I get blown off. If you're in position you should never bet small on the river because then you reopen the action, but the action is open anyway when you're out of position, so that's fine. And he is really thinking long about it. Not sure what he's debating, whether he should raise or call or fold, or all three of them. And he calls, and we are good. Yeah, I gave him a price that he had to call, basically. But I would have been tempted to call for sure if he had raised me. Okay, here ace-10 against the limper. I am going to go big, raise it up. I don't want to just call, and if I raise I have to go to a nice big size. Oh, not going to call with this one. Right here, out of position with second pair, just going to check. And he overbets now. What on earth is going on here? I mean, I am bluff catching at this point, and he put in the overbet. I'm just going to fold. This is like a very nitty fold, but what do I beat? Yes, maybe some flush draw, more straight draw, but I'm not sure he even has any of that. So I think he might have been slow playing from the beginning. Okay, set of ones, raises. We have a clear 3-bet with ace queen off. Not calling queen 5 suited. And we get it through with our ace queen. That's nice. So 10-9 off on the button. Definitely opening this. Even though we have Pipinya in the small blind, but he was tame this time, so I have to give him the aggro tag. And the green for aggro. Yeah, it's not good to have a green player to your left. So I have to be a little bit tighter when I open, when I know that he's behind me. And the reason for that is that he will just be more aggressive. And when he's more aggressive, then the way to beat him is to be tighter, but then have good hands when you're in the hand. So hopefully he will 3-bet us now. No, not happening. Let's see if one of the others obliges. Doesn't look likely now. Nope, folds all round. Okay. Yeah, so it's been going quite well actually. So I had this one bluff that didn't go well at the beginning. And since then, we've actually done quite okay. I think I'm going to leave this table now that my favorite player has left. But we have the 4 tables for 50 NL, and I can concentrate on those. I think that will be good. We have pocket 9s and ace king and 10-3. Okay, pocket 9s we are going to call. 4s we're going to fold. Okay, let's call the 9s. Okay, starting with a check. Ace king out of position. Horrible flop. Could not be any worse, really. Okay, here he c-bets with my hand. Nothing else to do than to call. Here it's already kind of marginal, but I'm still gonna call my ace king. Okay, this 5 is actually a good card for me. Makes it a little more likely that he doesn't have a set, or in this case now a boat. He checks. Okay, so here this guy bets again. I am going to turn this into a bluff now. And he folds. Great. Yeah, that looked like he was either bluffing or trying to get some fairly thin value. Okay, he had 6-7. Okay. Fair enough. At least we didn't lose any more money. Okay, now I have 9-8 suited. Here I 3-bet ace-jack off in the cutoff versus a hijack open. Okay, ace-5 suited. Okay, just leaving this. I am going to 3-bet this, fold. Here I'm just gonna call now that it's taken a while. Okay, you're getting cold 4-bet, and then I will have to fold. Here I am gonna call with my 9 high. I know this player is quite aggressive as well, so I'm just gonna call once again, and now we missed completely. If it checks, I will bet, but not even too big. So I don't want to bet too big because I just want to get him off like any bluffs that I beat. I just want to... I'm pretending basically I have a king. I don't know if I can get an ace to fold. Maybe if I had overbet. But even then he might call with an ace. Or some other pocket pair. I mean, he called anyway. He did have an ace, yeah. So that's... I thought there is definitely a chance that he folds an ace. But my main target was not an ace, obviously not a king. My main target was any other random bluffs like queen high, jack high, those sorts of things. But then also some ace x, and I think he will fold some ace x, and then that's okay with all that. I think I'm happy to bluff that. Okay, we raised ace queen, got called by the button. And there is a squeeze by our friend Pipinia. So at this time I am going to go for the for the 4-bet with my ace queen off. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him that he jams, but okay, so the queen is actually not that amazing for my range, although I do have some ace queen hands, so I can go really small. Oh, here we have ace king, so definitely going to 3-bet this one, and you just fold it. That's great too. So yeah, now we've done okay against him. Like, we've curbed his aggression a little bit. We managed to get some value out of him. We bluffed him. We did everything. So that is going all right. Okay, queen jack suited and king 9 suited, both times in the small blind. Let's see what is going to develop. Okay, so this is now an example. Normally, queen jack suited in the small blind, I would 3-bet this hand. But the thing is, it is quite marginal to 3-bet it from the small blind. And doing it against such an aggressive player, who might even be a bit tilted against us now, if I 3-bet him here, there's a good chance that he will 4-bet me, and then I have to fold my queen jack suited. So what I prefer to do, I mean, look at this flop now, sadly, but anyway, I didn't want to join this fray, because if I... Well, the way I beat him is by playing a tighter range that I play in an aggressive way. if that makes sense. And he seems to have had nothing. It'll be interesting to get his stats because I don't think I've played against him before, but I will get the stats at the end of the month because, like every end of the month, I ask the Coin Poker supporter, just send them an email and ask them to send me the hand histories of that respective month. Then I put them into my Poker Tracker 4, and then there I will just analyze some of my players and obviously analyze my own game as well. I seem to still have on this table. I was on the waiting list forever. Ooh, kings versus 4-5. Okay, 9-8 suited in the big blind. Okay, so I have two of my favorite aggressive players, Pipinya and Gale Swallows, both to my right. That's alright. I think against this player I'm okay to 3-bet my hand. He will open very wide. And he folded to my 9 high. So great, 9 high like a boss. By the way, Will Kasoof, who has coined this term, he started following me on Instagram. So I guess I've made it now. Okay, Ace King versus Pipinya. We are very deep. I'm going to raise it to 12 big blinds. Pocket tens, definitely raising this. He calls. Now I am going to start with a check, especially against such an aggressive opponent. Definitely not betting this. He bets it though. Oh, and here we... Well, wow, this is interesting. Here I'm starting with a range check. Right, that is quite good. We now have decent equity. We have 9 outs, all to the nuts, I guess. Okay, he bets quite big here. What happened here even? He just called. Well, am I going to... I'm just going to min click this one. Here, I don't want to shove. I'm just going to call. And now, on this river... Oh, he just folded to my min click. Okay. Maybe... and we won it in the end with our ace king. Excellent. So maybe he was ahead with something. Sadly, I don't see what he had. Okay, king, jack. Okay, let's just call this time. We have top pair, top kicker. Oh, sorry, not top pair, top kicker, obviously. Top pair, second kicker. Taking him a while. And definitely going to start with a stab. Ace-2 suited. I'm going to raise it against Pipinya. It's a bit marginal again, but being in the cutoff ace-2 suited is still okay. And he folds this time. Oh, and another jack. That's pretty decent. Okay, I am now gonna go for a big bet because he might have a weaker jack, or maybe he'll call with an 8, and I basically want him to call with a weaker jack, but nope, doesn't oblige. Right, so I don't know what he had here. Maybe he had queens, kings in this hand when I rivered the ace there. I don't know, yeah, I 3-bet he just called. So he might have slow played some big hands. Or he had ace queen himself. That's also a possibility. Or not himself, but he might have had ace queen. And he might have had an ace himself, I mean. But that ace, either ace queen or ace five or something along those lines. And okay, this is one where I am happy to 3-bet him with king 9 suited. This is again this player, because if I get 4-bet this time, that's absolutely fine. This is a hand that I don't mind folding, but he calls, and here I am just going to check. And bet small. I am going to take a stab at it in case he was just messing about. Obviously, if he comes over the top, I fold, and even if he calls, I'm probably done with the hand. Here we're getting min-clicked. This is really a terrible hand, but oh yeah, we got it through here. But I mean, the pot odds against a weak player, I am going to call. Okay, here pocket jacks. I do want a 3-bet, and here definitely folding to this overbet. Okay, if I had gotten 4-bet by this player, I think I would have folded. Because even though I squeezed from the big blind, and for him to then 4-bet there to a fairly big size, that's maybe he has ace king, but I don't think he has any other real bluff there. At least nothing that doesn't have a lot of equity. Here I could have actually raised a misclicked, or sorry, yeah, raised. I just folded. And that was a bit of a misclick, but okay. Ace 9 suited, we can raise this. King 7 off, just gonna fold against Pipinia. And we're getting 3-bet again by the button. This time, this is just a fold. Don't have to fight for every pot. That's the one thing that I've learned. 6-4 off. Very, very marginal, but with the ante and with us having position, I am going to call. And we are not in the greatest of shapes. Gonna start with a bet again. This time, gonna go a bit bigger, half pot. And this is because of the board, not because I'm bluffing. But the board texture now is just a bit different. Okay, here we have this situation again, king jack and the lower jack, just folding this. Okay, here I'm actually not going to overbet this one. This is quite tricky. Okay, he bets quite small there. I don't think I'm ever good. I don't think he... Question is only whether I can raise, but I don't think so. I'm just gonna fold it. Okay, we're getting 3-bet with ace-jack suited against that player. Okay, let's just call it here. We are going to go for a c-bet and take it down. Great. He checks. Okay, he should check a lot here. So that's fine. I'm just going to check behind. Okay, going to 3-bet this hand once again. He now bets, and if it's quite small, we have position. But I still am just giving him credit that he has ace-king or ace-queen. Going to fold, and here we're getting 4-bet. So with this hand, do I ever want to jam? I'm gonna call this. Flopping bottom pair on a monotone board. Not great scenario. He bets quarter pot as he should, and problem is I have to fold even though I have a pair. I do have to fold on this texture. Because even the hands that I beat, like ace-king or so, have so much equity, especially if they have a diamond with that. And then there are hands there where I'm drawing pretty much dead. So, have to fold. Here, 3-betting ace-queen in the low jack versus under the gun open. Cold 4-bet by this rather passive player. So that will be a fold. Raising jack-9 suited in the cutoff. And this guy seems a bit bluffy, but with jack-9 suited, and I only have 2 big blinds invested, prefer to fold. Okay, folding 8-5 off. Folding ace-3 off. Okay, ace-queen suited. Okay, we're getting called. This is a flop that I will bet big, especially with my hand. Two-thirds. We're getting check raised. So he's saying he has queen jack or fives. There's quite a big raise there. Okay, this is not the best of turns, because whilst it gives us top two pair, we now lose to a flush. But it's interesting that he checks now. So I'm going to bet this myself, because hopefully then the river can go check check. Because he might have done this maybe with ace five, maybe he did have two pair with queen jack. Okay, the river is as bricky as it could get. And if he checks, I will basically snap check behind. Not snap check, snap check. Okay, let's see. And he did have pocket fives. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, he did have pocket fives there. Yeah, that's why maybe I should have gone even a bit smaller on the turn. I still think it was good to bet there, but I should have made it a little smaller. So the flush saved me, but the thing is, if it hadn't been the ace of clubs, but any other club, it would have saved me more, because then I wouldn't even have bet the turn. And now we have pocket kings. Our friend Pipinia raises. And we can again call. Actually gonna make it a little bigger this time. Well, only slightly, I mean, just a quarter of a big blind more. I would want to get cold 4-bet, but it's not happening. So let's see what Pipinia does. He does 4-bet. Okay. So if we 5-bet this, can go to something like 47. She might have aces. Okay, this is a pretty good flop for me. So I'm going to go 20 big blinds. That's even less than quarter pot. He calls. I mean, if he has aces, that's not great. But then I would always have lost, and plus set over set faces in kings, that would be all right. So continuing to bet, and he folded, unfortunately. But it was a pretty good flop for our hand, and looked like our hand was ahead from the beginning. So we got 67 big blinds out of him, which is fine. Wonder if I had shoved if he had called there. If he had a hand like queens or jacks, maybe he would have talked himself into calling. Although I don't really expect that. But that's very good now. We've done quite well. We've proved that we're aggressive as well. Right, ace-10 off is just a fold against a raise. Five, four off in the big blind. So yeah, this is the only table, the one at top left, where I just haven't been able to get anything going. But that doesn't matter. The other tables are going quite well. Okay, Gale Swallows just limps, that's fine. So we are checking, and we got second pair. Okay, king four suited, I'm not going to call this one. Multi-way. King 10 off, too early to open. Okay, he checked, so I'm just gonna bet one big blind with my second pair. If I can fold out a hand like Jack 7, that would be great, even if it's Jack deuce. And I might get called by worse as well. So that's all fine, and he just folds, which is excellent. That's exactly what my aim was there. Question is, hope the grind is going well. How do you think the gambling tax that might happen in the budget will affect the UK poker scene? PS, enjoyed your poker book. Well, thank you very much for that. Right, yeah, so the proposed gambling tax in the UK. Well, as far as I know, they haven't really decided anything. Well, obviously, because it's proposed tax. But I'm not sure how poker will be affected. Now, it might well be affected, but I don't know how. So if it is like in Germany, where you, the poker sides have to pay, I'm going to continue that thought. Just hold for a moment. I'm just going to call with my jacks against this rather aggressive opponent. Okay, I'm going to start with a check here. I'm also going to start with a check. Definitely going to call. And he bets really big. I will fold. And here, is there merit in block betting? I think it's more likely that he will bluff than he will call with an ace high or pocket eights or something like that. So yeah, was pretty confident that I'd have the best hand there. Right, so back to the question, although let me just raise it up here. Yeah, back to the question. So how will it affect the poker scene? Well, that really depends what's going to happen. If they introduce something, as I was saying, like in Germany, where the poker sites have to pay VAT, which means that they increase the rake, that would kill online poker, which is basically what it did in Germany. So if that happens, that wouldn't be good. If it happens that they do it on other things, the tax, or you need to play this hand now. I'm gonna start with a check against this aggressive opponent. And I will now go quite big with a raise. Obviously we have not got very much. Now the river, can we ever bluff successfully? What are we representing? Well, the thing is I am gonna overbet this one because I think ace X might fold. Don't think he had a big hand. I think he has a bluff catcher when he bets really small on this turn. And I could be slow playing aces, nines, sixes, could have ace eight, could have a flush that I decided to check on the flop and then raise on the turn. So I have all sorts of options, and I mean I do also have bluffs, definitely. Let's see. I hope he folds so that I can finally continue my thought about the UK gambling tax. But no rest for the wicked. We have pocket eights. Oh yeah, he did fold, yes. We are calling with pocket eights, and this is really not a great... Again eights, wow, okay. Eights everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna check again. And check for a third time. Okay, he now bets basically pot, just a slight overbet. I think I'm just gonna fold. This line doesn't scream of bluff. I'm gonna check my second pair against this aggressive opponent who knows that this board is not really my range. And going to check again. If he checks, I will bet my second pair. If he bets, I will probably call. He checks, so I'm gonna go not crazily big, but like, what's that, 82% pot or so. But he folded. Okay, so this is all starting with a check on this triple Broadway. Here I'm folding this. Right, he checked behind. I'm just gonna check now. This is not great for me. And on this river, just gonna check again. He had pocket eights. He did not 3-bet pocket eights. Wow. I mean, I could probably have gotten him off those, but yeah, that's surprising to me. I thought he had an ace or a jack there, some different type of showdown value. But yes, back to the question. So I was saying, so if the UK gambling tax will affect poker directly, then it might be pretty bad. But there is a chance that if they don't really do much with the poker, what could happen is that they just tax other things, and then maybe it would even be a small positive for poker, because then if poker is unaffected but online slots and so on are affected by the tax, then maybe some people will play a bit more poker. Now, again, this all depends on whether it's online or live. So, as far as I understand, the gambling levy would not apply to live things anyway. Okay, let me see here. The small blind 3-bets me. 3-bets quite big, is an unknown player. I haven't seen him yet, so I'm just gonna fold. So yeah, that might be good, but overall, I don't think it's great for the poker scene. So whilst as a citizen, I think that tax is not a bad thing as such, depending how it is. But yeah, as a poker lover, I do not love the idea of all that. So I'll have to see what comes out. But who knows when that will be implemented? Like if we see the renters' rights bill has been going through Parliament for 3 years, I think, if not longer. Like the first time I heard about it was like 5 or 6 years ago, and it still hasn't passed. Right, 7, 8, 9 against our friend Pipinya. I'm not going to donk, but we have an open ender and 2 overs. And we have ace high, so I am just going to take my showdown value for now. And this does not help me at all, but we still have the ace. Okay, here we can start with a small bet. Would he do this with anything weaker than what I have for this half pot bet? Well, I could have bluffed a bit earlier, I think. Unfortunately, if I had like ace queen maybe, but I think I will just fold this one. 3-betting ace queen off, small blind versus button. Okay, here I am gonna go for a c-bet on this double Broadway board, getting snap called. Okay, now I have a pretty strong hand. So ace, I lose to ace 10, but I'm still gonna overbet this one. If he has a king, I'll probably call again. Nope, I didn't call again. Maybe, did I get too greedy there? Yes, I hope this answers the question a little bit. Here, I'm gonna fold ace 5 suited to a raise and a 3-bet. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what's gonna happen, unfortunately, but I am just hoping for the best for poker, especially for live poker. Now, again, if online poker becomes, and this might be a bit counterintuitive, but the thing is, if online poker will be influenced by this tax in a negative way, what could happen is that a lot of the good regs who are online regs will transition to live poker, and that will make the games even harder. Whereas I don't think there are a lot of weaker players left online who would then transition to live. So I think if then it's the better players who will flood the card rooms, the live card rooms, and that would obviously not be great for the economy, for the poker economy, that is. But yeah, we'll see. At the moment, I don't know. It's all a bit in the air, and I haven't read enough about it to be able to really give any qualified answers to this. But I hope I still manage to answer the question a little bit. And yeah, thank you for reading my book, The London Poker Guide. It's been 2 years now. Yeah, I published it in the summer of 2023. Still quite topical, I would say. It's still okay. Just like the one thing that has changed, I just played at the Vic yesterday, and I noticed that they have increased the cap for the rake to £12. It used to be 10, so now it's £12, and they still do all that rounding up to the nearest full pound, and then they still take 50p for the bad B jackpot in the evening, and £1 all day for their other promotions. So yeah, that's become a little bit less interesting to play in. Although I still think it's good enough for me, even with the increased rake, although it probably means that my win rate will go down by another pound or two per hour. Okay, no action. Fine. Jack 8 suited. I'm going to fold this with Pipinia to my left. And pocket eights again. Now against this really early position raise, this is a tricky one. I am gonna go for the marginal 3-bet, but pocket eights is very marginal there. I'm not even sure what the solver would do. But we get it through, so all good. Being results oriented. But this is something I actually want to have a look. The thing with solvers is I don't follow them a lot, but it's always good in certain situations to check that, and this is one of them, because pre-flop is the street where most regs will be closest to GTO. Now, that doesn't mean that they play GTO, but they will be closest to GTO. So if you ever look up anything in a solver, pre-flop would be the best thing, because that's, yeah, as I say, where the regs are closest to GTO, and the river is the worst to check, because on the river there is the biggest deviation. So wrapping it up very soon. I'm going to finish. This is the last hand. Just bear with me because I'm gonna check what our profit is. Just gonna wait for this hand to conclude. So we're definitely at a healthy profit. What's that? 80. So yeah, made around $120. That is pretty good. That's, what's that, 240 big blinds per hour. Yeah, obviously that's not the true win rate, but pretty good. So thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you again here very soon. Thank you.